Getting out of a relationship for a neurodivergent person can be really hard because that person that you were dating might have been the only person that you felt safe enough to unmask around. And now that that person actually knows who you are and they still left, it might leave you wondering if you actually suck as a person. But the issue is not that you suck as a person. The issue is you and that other person had an incompatibility, and that's why it didn't work out. But let's talk about it. You see, a lot of the times when we first start dating, both neurotypical and neurodivergent people can present themselves as somebody that they're not so as to impress a mate and therefore try to get them to actually date them. And when the mask and the facade eventually start to fade, then your partner's going to notice the real you. They're going to notice your quirks, your specific needs, your preferences, your sensory issues, whatever it might be. And they might either see that as cute or a little bit silly, and they might feel that way for a while. But if there is an issue with incompatibility, then over time, or as soon as they start to see these things about you, they are going to get a little bit annoyed. They might start to criticize you or shame you for those specific needs or preferences that you have. And that does not mean that you are a bad person. It means that you are in a relationship that is incompatible. But if you are with somebody, or you were with somebody where at first everything seemed hunky-dory and then all of a sudden it seemed like everything changed overnight, yeah, it might be good to reflect on your behaviors and see if there were any types of ways that you might have been able to handle the relationship or your own behavior or your own specific needs and preferences just a little bit better. Maybe you were putting too much on the other person or expecting them to carry too much emotional labor. But if you were explaining your specific needs and preferences and you weren't putting too much on them, that's not an issue with you. That's an issue with them being an incompatible match to you. And maybe they thought that they could take it on at first, and then they realized that they couldn't. And because they didn't want to admit that about themselves, they put that onto you and they projected their own insecurity. Whatever it might be, it wasn't a fit. And that doesn't mean that you have to call yourself names or think that you're a bad person or tell yourself, oh, I wish I didn't have this diagnosis. It's the worst thing ever. It's just not a fit. Don't put the mask back on. Find the people who like you for who you are and who can accept, at least most of the time, because we're humans and we can all be annoying. Find the people who can tolerate you and be kind to you and accept you and love you and help you with your sensory needs and your preferences and whatever makes you you, at least like 90% of the time. Because again, we're all human. We need our own space. We need our own time. We have our own flaws. But just find the people who actually want to be around you and who actually want to understand you and accept you. I promise you that they exist both romantically and platonically, in business and whatever. Just go find the areas, the spaces where you're accepted and where you're wanted. You deserve that.